so much has changed. I don't drink anymore thanks to your show.
Okay.
Like a media review, like I will literally never drink again. Camera.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I
I'm putting
love
it
that.
on our website. I'm doing it.
Yes.
Please. Give my full permission.
What's that movie? Sit ahead. Don't ask her like she'll say, I
Haven't seen it. Welcome to the Haven't Seen Podcast. This is a podcast where we bring people on the show and we get them really drunk and they tell them about a movie that I've never seen before. I'm Alenka Zach.
And Will.
I kind of want us to start doing accents. Is that something you feel like we could maybe do?
What kind of accent? I really can't do accents.
Do you have
I'm,
any in your
terrible at them.
bucket? None?
My bucket accents. I mean, I like doing like the whole fuck bud. Yeah,
Canadian.
get a fucking 2x4 down in there and you drink some beer, eh, bud? Like,
you're also not very good at that. I don't think you're very much. You're from there. It's embarrassing.
I am from there.
I am from there.
I mean, I guess there's that French Canadian, eh? They're from there, eh? Yeah.
I don't know if you're
That's
doing
bad
this
too.
well or not. I also don't want to do accents, actually. I've changed my mind because I'm quite insecure about them.
Can you do a Czech accent? Can you do it?
Oh my God, no. Every time I try to do my dad, it's just like, oh, you know what? I actually did a really good impersonation of my dad today. I sat in his chair on the computer. I put on his glasses and my mom and brother were rolling on the floor laughing, but I can't. It's very visual. I'm sorry.
Great. That's the perfect thing we need for this.
Anyways.
Well, you know, I'm pretty sure our next guests can actually do some accents and impressions. At least I'm pretty sure one of them can. But our next guests, they're no strangers to the Haven't Seen a Podcast. You heard them. You loved them. We don't know if you wanted them back on the show because we don't have like a lot of fan interaction, but they're back. They are back in a big way. We have Sam and Cam from the Chill Spot podcast stream, YouTube channel. They have a whole media network, and we're really excited to have them back on. Welcome back.
Hey.
What's up? Don't know
Funny.
what's up about my accent.
That's the one you went with, huh? You can actually do a British accent, but no, let's do the Cockney one. Yeah.
No, my RP accent is bad now. It's out of practice.
But hello to you too. It is so. Thank you so much for having us back.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. I am so happy to have you. I'm so happy to talk about the things because I think it's a happy one, and you guys make me happy, and I'm feeling.
We tried to keep it happy. We're out of the horror world now.
Yeah.
Although still made me pretty happy.
Well, especially when Sam, I mean, I think there was at one point, or at least two different points where I tried to bring up something along the lines of like, I don't think that's when that happened there. And you were like, shut up.
Trying to get to that point again. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I realized I see on our Zoom call, Will, that you got like a tall glass for your drink. I
did
a tumbler for mine. So we might have to break. Oh my God.
Oh,
she's got
yes,
merch.
Look at the branding. Holy.
Dish.
Can I get me one of those?
Yeah. Where do you go to
Yeah,
Sunrise?
you can, because you know why? Because the company sent me two ones extra by accident, and I didn't
You
tell them.
said.
Oh,
There we
perfect.
go.
Oh, don't give one to Alenka and give them to myself and Sam.
should
I already
that
have
in, like,
one.
in like the little card that everybody, like all the fans get when they buy your merch eventually when that's available. It's just like, hey, so the company sent me an extra one here, eh? So I figured, why not?
Oh my God, Will, write this down.
Yeah.
Write this down.
Write it down.
When we sell merch, each
Write
of
it
them
down.
will come with the recipe from one of the episodes for the drink.
Ooh,
There you go.
a little recipe card. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
good. That's good.
Actually, I
merch.
actually recommend this one. This one's fucking delicious.
We're gonna have our own drink book. We're gonna have our own drink recipe book. Oh my God,
Yeah.
Will, we're going
We can
global.
publish a recipe book.
The haven't drank it yet.
Oh
Or
yeah.
haven't drank it.
Guys,
Mixed. I was gonna say it wouldn't be a cookbook.
no.
I haven't seen a drink book, and then we'll also feature some cocktails made by Zach Parsons.
I'm so fucking excited.
not?
This is our next step, buddy.
All right.
But yeah, thanks, guys. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Just having a little.
Yeah. Well, I am very excited about the movie we're talking about because I hadn't watched it in years, and when I did, it made me feel really good.
Mhm.
and it's a great flick. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about, is that Alenka's thing or is that my thing?
It's anyone can
Whoever
do
wants to
it.
say it.
It's great that you checked in after you started.
Sometimes it saves me. Sometimes I mini forget what movie we're talking about. I remember this
So what are we watching?
We're talking about Little Miss Sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
Miss Sunshine. Yeah.
Little Miss
Little
And,
Sunshine.
and I echo your sentiments about how this movie makes you feel good because like I this movie gives me good feelings when I like see the yellow DVD case in my DVD collection.
Yeah.
And then
Yellow is a
Very
happy
warm.
color.
watched it today in preparation for this, obviously. And it gave me like little tears of happiness. I had like a little happy cry
No.
by myself at
Well,
the end of it.
It's funny how happy the film is, especially when you consider that the characters and their relationships is probably the most upsetting thing ever.
I know.
Watch play out.
It's the feel good film about horribly depressed characters. But, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just all
Way to go.
ranges.
Really walks a fine line.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
tell me the whole plot in summary.
No, we're not telling you.
Oh, it's real
That's
deep. Trust me. That actually, yeah.
Well.
It's we got a long way to go.
Yeah. But the
Okay.
movie, it's got a really great cast.
Mhm.
It's got Steve Carell, baby
Shut
Abigail
up.
Breslin, Paul Dano.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the dad?
Steve
Carell
Carell
was
was
Greg
in this.
Kinnear.
He was in As Good as It Gets. He was I Have to Draw You. That one.
Oh, really?
Well, there's Greg Kinnear. He
Greg
plays the
Kinnear.
dad.
That's what it
Yes.
is. Greg Kinnear.
And then Alan Arkin plays.
Yes.
You guys, I stopped
Wow.
knowing who's in it
Aw.
after you said Abigail, so we can.
I think she'll go by Gail at some point.
Colette.
No.
Oh, Tony Cloud is the best. Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
Pardon me. What did you say,
Tony-
Will?
Do you think she'll
She's
ever
gonna
go
start
by
going
Gail at some point?
No.
Just like when she's like 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Call me Gail
Abigail's,
Breslin.
Abigail's still
Well,
like
there's nothing in movies that anymore for us at all, really.
I
So,
think
like, I wanted to come back at 75 as like Gail Breslin.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be like, who? Oh, Abigail Breslin.
Her last film was Zombieland Double Tapped.
Come on. I don't know what you guys are talking
But yeah,
about.
no, I love this movie.
I'm so sorry. I like it.
You must be so sick of listening to people like explain movies at you. I know that's literally the like
No.
Like the whole bag
the
here.
whole
Let
bag.
me tell you
but
what I'm sick of. People telling inside jokes about culture, pop culture, other movies, other TV shows, celebrities, literally anything that I don't know. Feel like an outcast.
well, you will know one more movie
Yes.
once we're through with you. Don't you worry.
And she's a
All
winner.
right.
Little Miss Sunshine, I mean, but also Alenka.
Yeah.
I think that this movie is great. How does it
So,
open?
and
So-
I actually think. Hold
Well,
on, you
I'm
guys.
not allowed to ask that.
No,
Hold on.
you
We're
can't.
not
You're
at that
starting too
part.
early. Come on now.
Sorry. Fuck.
Hold the fuck up. Got a lot of shit
I'm
we
sorry,
haven't
Alenka,
talked.
what were you saying?
I actually know. I think a lot about what happens in this movie, minus the relationships,
Ooh.
probably.
If you had to give us like your elevator pitch of what you think the movie's about, like
Yeah.
what is that?
Give us your haven't seen
Right.
it podcast
Yeah.
inside of this podcast.
Well,
about
thank
what
you. I
think this
will,
movie is
because
about.
that's literally our structure. So, if I may. So, I'm pretty sure this little girl, I don't know if they live in like a trailer park or something. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyways, they live in a house or something. And it's like the whole family. I want to say there's a grandpappy there. And this little girl, does she do pageants? She does like pageants or contests or something like that. And she's got a pot belly, which is like so cute. But that's the thing that I
Very
think
cute.
defines her as like not appropriate pageant or contestant material or whatever. But she's like edgy. She's a little sass bot. And she does the stuff and everybody's like, no, you can't do that. And she's like, yeah, I fucking can. So I'm a little girl, I got pot belly and it's fucking adorable. America loves me. And then they do. And pretty sure that's what happens. It's like the Honey Boo Boo kind of
can't-
thing, but a little bit more class, maybe.
Exactly. I'm astonished at the accuracy of that.
That's a wrap,
Mhm.
folks.
Yeah,
I told you, I know.
More.
I know what happens in
Not
this
sure
movie,
why
but I
I'm
don't
here.
know what
Little Miss
happened.
Sunshine, the story of a pot-bellied girl.
Okay, you know
A
what?
small
Actually, I take
pot-bellied
it
girl.
back because literally
Please
everybody
take it
always
back.
says
gonna
my
say-
summaries are good, and then you guys are lying. So now I don't know if I'm
No,
right or
that
not.
one was good. That was
Thank
a good
you.
one.
That
Gold
wasn't-
star.
Yeah, that wasn't
Thank
the worst
you.
one. That
Oh,
wasn't
definitely.
the worst one I've heard.
No, there's certainly like other ways to interpret what this movie could be about. Just from first, like maybe it's about this talking yellow Volkswagen van. You know,
Mm.
maybe
Yeah.
I don't
if you look at the
understand.
poster,
It's
is
like
like
a live action Cars.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What
it's the movie we've all wanted.
For sure.
I'm
No, but
confused
Little Miss
now if
Sunshine
somebody
is
hallucinates
about,
if this RV speaks or not.
That'd be a crazy twist in the third act of this film. They get to where they're going, and the wheel.
They get out of the van when they arrive at the pageant, and they like shut the door, and the van just goes, "Ow!"
Oh, shit. No, it's like, good luck, kids. Form your heart out.
It does, right?
What the fuck?
Remember, sachet Shantae.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, what the fuck?
Is this also a mix
but
of
this movie is
RuPaul?
about
That was a little bit, yeah.
everything is a mix of RuPaul. We've been watching Drag Race
Yes,
this entire
yes,
quarantine.
yes. Yeah.
since it
Good.
started.
It's not
And
healthy.
It's just taken over.
No,
our
it
life.
is.
We got
Very
that.
It is half their live stream content, I can attest. But
Yeah, no, 100%. There's at least one of the 3 streams we do where it's just like, so Sam, how you feeling about fucking RuPaul lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that, you know?
I want to do that.
But yeah, no, this movie is about a family traveling from Albuquerque to Redondo, California for the little girl's beauty pageant to participate in,
Oh, shoot.
the Little Miss Sunshine pageant, and
Mhm.
all of the bumps and obstacles and discoveries that they make along
Mhm.
the way en route to the road trip, because they're like a dysfunctional family, and then they get closer towards the
Yeah.
end of it.
So yeah, the big
Cute.
thing is the sort of like, how do I say, how in depth the characters are even from the back, because like as we open, you know, where it starts with
well, we're not starting yet.
I'm so sorry.
Still not starting.
I need a
We
cue.
You guys.
since we did Jaws. I don't know.
No. But do you want to know about the drink? Do you want to hear the drink?
Yes.
Yes, desperately. Please tell me. I want to know.
Okay, it's my only moment to shine. So
I know.
well, today's drink is called Super Freak,
Ow.
and it is a float drink. It's an ice cream float drink. So you got Coke or root beer. I went with root beer.
Same.
Oh,
It's the only way.
And Jaeger, I filled it up like halfway, so I'm going big.
Damn. Damn.
And then you top that with some vanilla ice cream. All right, I mean, you can top with any ice cream you want, but I went with vanilla. And then you top that with some cherries. I got some maraschino cherries. You can't really see them, but I put them in there.
I can see the red.
And
Oh yeah.
it's delicious, and that's called a Super Freak. And you'll find out the name
She
and
dances to that.
why the drink is what it is.
It's her
I'll
talent.
say there's a look to the drink that is what I've tried to make look like something in the movie.
Okay. I'm stressed.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't understand.
I might have already be a little tipsy already.
I was gonna say, how much of this drink have you had?
Is that like the second or third
Jesus
one?
I also have no idea where you're going with that at all.
Maybe.
You make it look like something else. I'm not sure.
What's happening?
What are you talking
We'll
about?
see. It looks like something in the movie. It looks like something
Well,
at the end of the movie.
he's fucked right now. It's hilarious.
Well, speaking of the movie, Chill Spot,
You guys want to
how
talk
does the
about it?
movie start?
Finally.
Thank you for telling me.
Now me and Sam are doing the thing where we're like we're just staring at the camera, like
yeah,
waiting for a cue. Like
Waiting for your cue.
Okay,
do it.
but the movie. How does the movie start, Sam?
So the movie starts.
This is going great.
You guys. have been-
The movie starts. I don't remember.
Well, no, but it opens with the dad.
That's right. No, the dad is giving a talk.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's explaining his
Okay.
8 steps of success. His like little fucking
Cute.
like
9 steps.
pardon me, 9 steps. 9 steps.
Pardon.
It's important. 9 steps of success, which is basically like he's this guy. I don't know, motivational speaker. I
Yeah.
suppose is what he
He's
is.
an aspiring motivational speaker.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do.
And also head of an MLM one day, probably.
Mhm.
Oh, most likely. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This man
What's
will
that?
start a sex cult one day. And
Yes.
there will be an HBO Max documentary series about it. And Chrissy Teigen will watch it and tweet about it.
Excellent.
100%. This is the stuff Chrissy Teigen tweets are made of.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and with my 9-step program, you can go from being a winner to a loser. And he's got like his like little loose sight projection up on the wall.
I think you had that backwards, love.
I think so too.
Absolutely. Yes, I did. Yeah. I said
You follow my steps and you're guaranteed to be a loser.
Yeah. If you simply follow my 9-step program, you can be homeless in 2 weeks or less. Get your money back. and you will want that money back because you will be homeless.
But the whole thing is that so he goes about his whole speech and he says you can be a winner, and then the lights turn on and there's like 6 people.
Yeah.
Who want, and only one of them is like, oh great.
He's in like the basement of like the shittiest building on the nearest university campus.
He's like the bottom of Rikers. Like he's just
It's like a flat Earth society meeting or something.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Exactly. But he's very like about it. And then we switch over to Toni Collette's character, and she's on the phone en route to pick up her brother, played by Steve Carell, who's in the hospital. We learn after a recent suicide attempt,
Yeah, I
a
feel
failed
bad.
suicide attempt. So she's picking him up to take him to come and live with her and her family, to keep an eye on him and make sure that he doesn't like try and hurt himself again.
Yeah.
So she
And
brings
it's
him
a very
home.
dysfunctional family. It's a crazy family.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of almost every single member of this family exudes a particular kind of dysfunction.
Yeah.
And it's incredible how it all
But
comes
not in
together.
like a shitty way, in just like we don't talk to each other way. Like they're one of
Very
those
bad
like,
communicating.
they're
Yeah.
one of those like middle class families where it's just like, because there's the mom, Toni Collette, who's like just trying to like keep it all together. She's the breadwinner of the family while the dad chases his motivational speaker
Right.
dream because he's
Cute.
trying to get a book deal that's
Yeah.
like not going to work out, obviously.
He might.
Excuse me.
Spoilers, Jesus.
He might.
It's like dripping off of him this entire time.
Oh, like he exudes failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And then there's the eldest son, played by Paul Dano, who is like your typical angsty teenager, but his whole shtick is that he doesn't talk.
Yeah, he's got like the raw means I love you and dinosaur haircut,
Yeah.
like the big black bowl cut that's like
No.
right down to his eyelashes.
Yeah.
No.
Very,
Yeah.
very. I'm huge on MySpace
He's
haircut.
taking like a vow of silence.
MySpace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
what was-
worships Friedrich Nietzsche. Like that's his guy.
Exactly.
He's like always got a copy of also Sprach Zarathustra, I think is that Nietzsche.
I don't know. Are you speaking in
Bless
tongues
you.
right
I didn't even
now?
know what you said.
Speaking in tongues.
He's like always reading Nietzsche. That's his thing. And he's taken a vow of silence until he joins the Air Force and like hates everyone, like hates his family.
Mhm.
And then you've got the coked out grandpa who was supposed to be in a nursing home,
Yeah.
but
And the
couldn't.
grandpa is Greg Kinnear's father.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So grandpa lives with them because he got
okay.
kicked out of his nursing home for smoking heroin. in his
No,
room.
for snorting heroin.
Oh, well,
Come
he was
on.
doing
Like don't Google Greg Kinnear's father. It's not actually Greg Kinnear's father.
That's what I was going to, and then I realized what you're saying, and I was smart enough to change what I was Googling. Points for me.
movie.
Sorry. That is fucking hilarious.
Greg Kinnear dad.
Yeah. He wasn't in Little Miss Sunshine. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Until we found out Alan Arkin actually is Greg Kinnear's dad, that'd be
I know.
mind blown.
Jesus.
He
I
could
wonder it
be.
works so well. But yeah, so he got kicked out because he was doing the bad drugs. He wasn't doing any of the fun drugs. He was doing all the bad drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also there's a very important thing that we forgot about.
Tell
In
me.
the very start of the movie, it starts with Abigail Breslin's character watching a pageant.
Mhm.
Yes. She's
Yeah.
watching footage from an old beauty pageant and like trying to copy
And
their moves.
she's doing all like the like the Home Alone like like pretending to
Oh
be
my god, I won.
it's me,
She's
oh my
me.
goodness.
Practicing her like graceful wave.
She's
and yeah,
me.
and yeah. So there's a little baby Abigail Breslin. Character's name is Olive.
Mm.
Little baby Gail.
Baby Gail.
I love that her name is
She
Olive.
looks like an
What
olive.
what a great name.
Yeah.
It's her and Emma Stone's character in Easy A. They're both Olives.
Wait, is she?
True.
Oh, and then they came together for Zombieland. That's
Hey,
yeah,
there you
that's
go.
wow.
There you go. 6 degrees of olives. Stuffed with content.
Yeah.
But
Cute.
yeah, no. So Baby Gail is a aspiring beauty queen, and her coked out grandpa teaches her everything that he knows, or at least tries to. He's like her beauty pageant coach, and that's the whole family. So Toni Collette brings Steve Carell's character home. And everybody's just like trying to get to know each other. And then
And this is what I love, actually, is I love indie film because it's always a real house. You know, you when you see a movie where it's like, oh, this people actually live in this house. It's not like an untouched mansion that they live in. It looks like a real person's house.
Absolutely. I thought the exact same. There's like these wood panel walls, and there's carpet fucking everywhere.
And then they're having like fried chicken dinner, I think, or they're having something. They're having a dinner, just like takeout. And she's like handing out the cups, and there's like a McDonald's cup, plastic McDonald's cup, and
Dano's throwing paper plates on the table and shit. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, she's like doling out like Sprite Zero from the bottle for everybody. Yeah, it's sick. So
that's that real shit.
Yeah,
like, that's
real
shit.
Friday night dinner,
Middle
man.
America, like although New Mexico isn't Middle America, I think, but it's like it's your table, it's my table, it's all of our tables.
Yeah.
That we all know.
Because despite it being like a very dysfunctional picture, they do things that regular families do, like eat together and
that's nice,
fast food and chicken and all that.
Yeah, totally. So they're having dinner together, and Olive notices the bandages on Steve Carell's arms. Frank, I think his character's name is. And she's like, oh my God, what happened to your arms? And he explains that he tried to kill himself after his lover left him for another man. He lost his job teaching about Proust at a university, had to move into a motel, and like basically just lost like everything in a matter of weeks. And then he tried to commit suicide, and he explains the whole thing to Olive.
Well, there was a kicker. There's a particular reason. Like some one of his colleagues involved on, I think, in him losing his partner got some award.
Yeah. So the man that his lover left him for kind of like got a huge scholarship award that he should have won, because so like his whole thing, Frank's whole thing is that like he's the number 1 Proust scholar in America.
Oh, what an
and this
honor.
man who
is the number 2.
Is number 2.
Yeah.
And just, like,
sick of it.
And then like as his career was like tumbling down the drain, the number 2 scholar got this like huge scholarship and his boyfriend, and like just to like twist the knife even more, like living in a motel.
That's kind of like the other part, especially when this movie came out. Like, so Steve Carell is gay, and that's his. It's like he has a partner as a man, and the grandfather. So Greg Kinnear's dad like makes fun of him for that, like for being gay, and it's kind of like, but not really. Like it's weird. He makes fun of him for it, but he's also just like,
it's like
whatever.
Politically incorrect, but it's really not the worst homophobia that I've seen on film, which is a sad thing to say.
Well, it's not like he reaches across the table and starts beating the shit out of him, right? It'd be like a little different.
Yeah. It's not like he's opposed to him living there or like being around him.
Well, it also helps that the father character is like, and I love him for this, but in reality, he's such a bastard.
Yeah.
Like he's just like so incredibly on everyone's case constantly. So
crass.
It's like, no doubt, obviously, like, you know, it makes fun of him for being gay, but like it's in the way that he does literally everything. So it's a bit more like a full circle for that character.
Right, absolutely.
And then he keeps like Greg Kinnear, like the dad, not the grandfather, is like doesn't want Frank telling this story to Oliver, like it's not. And then he keeps talking about how basically he's calling Frank a loser. He's like, there's winners and losers, and people who commit suicide are just losers or something. He's like, it's pretty horrible.
His face,
because his whole thing is like
based on the 9-step program that he believes in. He believes Frank to be a loser
because there's 2 kinds of people. There's winners and then there's losers. You know, and like it's just like that's this whole thing, and he calls everyone a loser through the whole film. Pretty much everyone but him.
Yeah, 100%. So Frank is kind of like, thanks for that. Super fun.
Nice. I just almost
The
committed
bandages
suicide,
are
but yeah, I'm
still
a
on my
loser.
arms from when I tried to take my own life. But sure, call me a loser. This is like really working out.
How's the mortgage going?
But the big moment in this scene is that there was a phone call earlier from Olive's aunt, and Olive's aunt is sort of the one who's gotten her into this pageantry kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and she like participated into a pageant when they visited her in Florida, and it was like, you know, that's what got her into it. And apparently, the Little Miss Sunshine pageant, like someone had to drop out of it, so Olive has a chance to like be a part of it, and that's like the big child pageant.
I'm only going to get nitpicky about this for a second, but like the pageant that Olive was in Florida, she was the runner-up, and the winner of the pageant had to forfeit her crown because she got busted for diet pills.
She's 9.
So Olive, the honorary winner, which means that she got to go on to this Little Miss Sunshine pageant in California, where they now all have to road trip to.
Yeah,
but in the time, I think it's like a Friday when they leave.
Yeah,
they need to be in California on Sunday, and then back in Albuquerque on Monday.
Yeah,
there's some weird
it takes place
timeline
over the weekend. Yeah,
come on,
yeah,
like a day or something.
And
like
they have to bring everyone.
Yes, because the whole deal is that like something. Okay, I don't.
Nobody in this house can be left alone.
Yeah. So the dad is the only one who knows how to drive stick.
Yeah.
The mom is going because Olive is going. Paul Dano doesn't want to go, but Steve Carell can't be home alone
because he just tried to commit suicide.
But they can't be with each other because Paul Dano is kind of a dick.
He's a teenager. Like, she's not gonna, like, the mom being a good mom is like, I can't ask a teenager to watch my cousin or my brother,
my suicidal brother,
my adult suicidal brother. That's way too big of an ask and completely inappropriate.
Yep.
I'm not doing that.
Heave ho, here we go.
So refreshing to watch a parent be a good parent.
They all get in their Volkswagen, which, to add on to this, is a total rust bucket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna break machine. It's
totally gonna break down.
A mystery.
Can I say though that I want one of those vehicles so badly? How great would it be?
Well, I'm sure they fucking sales skyrocketed after this movie. They were just like, I want a VW van, even more so.
Yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, I want it to be a total piece of shit too. I want it to break down on me.
I want it to be bad.
Experience.
Exactly.
But yeah, so, and obviously, like, they're not going to leave Grandpa by himself because
he's an old drug addict.
He's an animal.
He's a fucking animal.
So the entire family has to go on this road trip together to take Olive to California. And they embark on this journey, all in the name of helping this little girl achieve her dreams. And it is true. It's kind of like, it's never explicitly said, but it's like kind of adorable how like Olive is so clearly not the beauty queen type, and they're so clearly not the type of family to even want to try and like do that sort of thing. Like we've all seen some kind of pageant thing, Toddlers and Tiaras, or I don't know, RuPaul's Drag Race,
RuPaul's Youth Drag Race,
comparable at all.
But like the people who do these, it's a certain breed of person who does pageants, and this is so clearly not the family, and this is so clearly not the girl. But just like no one ever talks about it. They're like, it's what Olive wants to do, so here we go.
Cute.
So their first kind of foil in the plan is they make a pit stop at a restaurant, and Olive orders breakfast, and her waffles come with ice cream. So she asks for ice cream, obviously, because she's like 6.
Mm-hmm.
And her dad, being the charmer that he is, kind of like tells her like, you know, honey, ice cream is made from cream, and cream is made from like cow's milk, and it has a lot of fat in it. Now, is Miss Universe fat?
Yeah.
Is she? What about all of the other pageant queens? Are they fat or are they skinny?
Fat shaming your daughter.
Yeah, literally like fat shaming her daughter.
You got to be a
winner. What does he think's going to happen in like 3 days?
She's going to grow up to be like Emilio Estevez in the Breakfast Club. Like, Dad just said to be a winner. Win.
And then he handed her a pack of cigarettes and said, "You're gonna smoke the whole pack."
So he's just like, don't eat ice cream because you'll be fat, basically, which is horrible. But then her brother and Frank and her grandpa are like, ooh, that looks like good ice cream, Olive. Ooh, if you're not gonna eat that, I'm gonna eat that. And they all kind of tease her a bit. And so she goes, no, I'm gonna eat it. So she chooses ice cream over her father.
Absolutely. I mean, 10 times out of 10 with this fucking guy. I mean, I've never been so sick of a character faster. Like, there's no way to make me like you less than is to fat shame a little girl for eating ice cream. Like, are you joking?
What keeps me from seeing this guy as like a complete villain is just how so obviously he's such a fucking loser. Like, outside of the realm of his family, like, he steps outside of his house every day and everyone else can see completely through him. Like, so honestly, even like his son sees through him.
Oh no, I think they all see it. They all see it.
His wife, like Toni Collette's character, obviously supports him because like she's invested so much money into like letting him achieve his dream that she's like, I just want this to work out so that we don't like lose our house. Like,
it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. But the funny thing about Greg Kinnear's character is that he's like waiting on a book deal. His whole thing is that like he knows this guy, like Stan Grossman or something.
Yeah.
Who is like told
Played
him
by Brian Cranston, although that's revealed later.
Who's told him that his 9-step program is sellable and it's like gonna happen and he's gonna like go to this conference and pitch his 9 steps to everybody and get him a book deal and it's gonna be a huge thing and he's trying to make it work this entire time. He's trying to get a hold of. Pardon?
He's totally gonna steal the idea. It's my guess.
I mean, like, we'll see, but
we'll find out.
It is yet to be seen. But he's trying to get in touch with him for like the first quarter of this movie, and the Stan Grossman guy is like not answering his calls. No. So like that's why I don't completely hate this guy because he'll tell Olive like that she shouldn't be fat if she wants to be a winner, and then try and get a hold of this like big shot book dealer, and he doesn't answer his calls and like defers him to his secretary all the time. So it's like, he's a dick. He's such a loser.
He's totally projecting his insecurities on his daughter, but
100%.
I think he projects it on literally every person he talks to. Actually,
everyone.
Yeah.
101.
Totally.
So then I think the clutch breaks next, right? That's kind of the next major thing, which is great. So the clutch on the the clutch on the van breaks, and they end up going to like an auto body shop, and basically because they couldn't get this because VW vans are so fucking rare that you have to order pieces in that take like weeks to come in or like days to like arrive. The auto body guy's like, well, you could just park it on a hill because you just have to get it up high enough. He's like, these vans, you can just shift right into like third gear instead of going to first and second. You can just shift right into third gear. You just have to get up enough speed. So he's like, just park it on a hill and then get enough speed and just shift right into third. And then you'll just have to do that every time you stop. So because there's so many members of the family, they decide they'll just push and run it. They'll just, So from now on for the rest of the movie, every time they have to like go in the van, they all have to push the van and get it up to speed and hop in the van.
Good already.
I know, it's such an adventure. Very sweet movie.
And every time they have to push the van, they play this like beautiful, uplifting, like go-getter music. It's just like
it's
very
literally a family working together to overcome an obstacle. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
it's so sweet.
It's very charming.
It's actually kind of amazing. I noticed this when I watched it today. Well, clearly when they did this, it's actually all the actors, and they're just like literally doing like pushing the car and running it. So every time they complete it, you can hear like the very genuine like we did it.
The last person who comes into the van, they all go like, yeah, everybody's in.
It's only the 20th take.
Right? Exactly. I'm sure the directors were sitting there like, come on.
But like the first time
we had to replace the last Paul Dano because we ran him over.
We got the other one from There Will Be Blood. What do you do?
It's just a Paul Dano factory chugging them out. Yeah.
We were supposed to have Andrew Garfield on this movie. Do you understand?
10-year-old Andrew Garfield. The first time they ever have to push the van is like the first time the family has to like work together and can't be at each other's throats for something. And it really brings them together in like a cute way. And it's really nice because like
you can tell that this is especially so good for Frank, Steve Carell's character. You can see
yes.
he gets all excited. He's like, outstanding, not a soul left behind. Outstanding. He's like saluting everybody.
No soldier left behind.
You can see that it's like reminding him why it matters to stay alive again. It's like giving him a reason to live again. It's like the most it's one of the
very heartwarming. Very heartwarming.
like super. So it's like one of those. It's like that moment in romantic comedies where it's like, they're in it. They're in this together now. Like they're, like there's no turning back.
Romantic comedies don't have those fucking moments. This type of movie has.
They literally do. I study them for a living.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But yeah, no. It's like they're all together now. Like they're not just like on a road trip for Olive. They're like working together as a unit to achieve a goal.
Mixing up their soup of family.
The next big trip up family. They stop at a gas station, and Frank sees his lover at the gas station, his former lover.
As if.
Yeah. That's what I said.
What are the chances?
Yeah.
And he's there before that. Grandpa's all like, "Hey, give me some like dirty magazines, some nudie mags."
He dead ass like Frank literally is like, "I'm going to get something. Do you want anything?" And Granddad goes, "Yeah,
Nudie
give me
mags.
some porn."
Here's $20. Give me some porno.
Get one for yourself, one of those boy mags or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He says the F slur. He says F slur rags.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And he literally he buys a blue slushie, those porn mags, and his lover walks in.
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh no.
Hey.
You got a slush puppy and a copy of Jugs. How's your life
I'm
going?
just buying this gay porn from this gas station. How have you been?
What's up?
So he buys like 5 mag. He gets like the Hustler and the Jugs. I think he gets like all of them.
Yeah. No, he's basically like walks down the aisle and like, does the grocery store, like just knocks it all into his cart.
Oh, cute.
Give me that one and that one and that one and that one.
Yeah. So he has an awkward run-in with his former lover, and they have the whole like, "Hey, it is so good to see you. So what are you up to now?" And
I'm busy. I'm trying to get to California. Fuck, leave me alone.
Trying to get to California way.
Mind your business. But yeah, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, Larry and I were just going to a spa because you heard about the Genius thing. The grant that he won is called like the Genius Grant."
No, what happened?
So he's like, "Oh yeah, you heard about the Genius thing, right? So we're just gonna go to a spa, just like, relax for the next little bit." He like hops in a convertible, and like you can see him mouthing like, "You'll never believe who I ran into," and then like Larry Sugarman, his rival, like looks over and like laughs a little bit, and they like drive away, and he feels all shitty about himself.
I hope he got a flat tire.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, fuck this guy. But at the same time, Greg Kinnear's character gets a phone call. Richard, I just remembered his name. Richard gets a call from book club guy Bryan Cranston. Book club guy. They're not in the book club.
Honestly, you saying that is more helpful. I like it.
So they're in a book club.
He's like, "I think we're gonna read Obama's book next meeting. Can we do that before next meeting?" Okay, great.
I think we're gonna start Little Fires Everywhere.
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie, he finds out that he actually read Obama's old book.
Yeah,
it's like, oh damn it!
You're not reading dreams from my father. Damn it. But yeah, so he calls book deal guy, and book deal guy basically tells him that book's not going to happen. Sorry, but he pitched it and nobody wanted it. Everybody thinks it's stupid.
It really was like, oh, whoopsie. Just like,
sorry, I tried, but nobody wants it.
Sorry.
So
bye.
His dad can see that he's all like upset about it, and he's like, shit, he didn't get it. And
probably the only sweet moment between those two characters in the whole movie.
Yeah, they all get back into the car.
In quotes.
And
well, like he's all angry, and Tony Collette's like, "Oh, like just get in the car," and they're all angry, and they head out. They push the car and get in, and then they're all kind of arguing with each other, and the father's trying to console him, but like he's getting kind of angry. Greg Kinnear, and then Paul Dano, who is silent, starts to realize, where's Olive? So he writes it down on a piece of paper and he shows Frank, and then Frank's like, "Where's Olive? Where's Olive?" And then they realize they left Olive at the gas station.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite details because at that point in the movie, she's like, what do you want to do? I go inside. She's like, no, I'm gonna go practice my routine elsewhere, and she leaves, and then you go see her, and she gets forgotten, and then
in all of the hubbub of Greg or Richard not getting his book deal, they like leave without Olive.
And I guess I'll save the other half of that thought for like when we get to the eventual pageant, because that's part of this whole thing I really liked about this watch of the movie.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So
the fun thing about this scene is that they come back to get Olive, but they don't stop, right? They just roll into the gas station like, oh, run, hop into the bus.
They do the drive through, like
lifts her in.
The opposite of the kiss and ride, like
Come on, jump. So they literally scoop Olive and then go back on the highway. It's very cute. But yeah, and then they stop in a hotel for the evening, which I guess
is that the next thing right after that is the hotel?
Yeah, they stop in a motel overnight.
And they're all handing out the keys for the night, and then Olive's gonna hang out with the grandpa and Paul Dano and Steve Carell together, and the mom and the dad are together, and the mom and the dad get into their hotel room, and immediately Tony Collette is like, hey, so we have to talk about the fact that all this time and money we've put into your thing is like just in the trash now. And he's like, I want to talk about that shit. And then it cuts to.
I think she throws the word.
Just shove it down. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. We're not losers.
I think she throws the word divorce out too at some point. And Paul Dano and Steve Carell are in the next room over, and they can hear them arguing. And Steve Carell, like trying to be a good uncle, is like, hey man, you don't have to listen to this. Just turn the TV on.
Turn on the politics.
Turn the TV on. He turns it on. It's like a Bush speech is on the TV, just so you know what year this is.
When that happens, I'm always like, oh, are they trying to be slightly political a little more? Like, you know what I mean? Like whenever movies have very specific, like this was our president at the time clips, like Boys in the Hood had like Reagan stuff, but like, underlying, which makes sense. But like this movie just has like one clip of Bush, and I was like, ooh, is this supposed to be an allegory for the Bush years or something?
Yeah. But like it's not clear what he's talking about. Like he's giving a press release, but like it's not really clear what exactly he's addressing.
He's doing the "fool me once" line, like "fool me once."
I was like, is this that one?
Is this the shoe throwing conference?
But no, it's just a random Bush speech, and Paul Dano like turns it off so that he can hear his parents arguing because he's a little shit like that, and you just see him like smiling.
He gets off to it. He's like,
he's like happy that his parents are like arguing
in misery.
He's an angsty little teenager, and he thrives off of chaos. So
he's very
he's
chaotic.
Just loving that like everybody, because he thinks everybody's full of shit. Typical teenager. He thinks everybody's full of shit. Especially his parents. So he's like enthralled that things are not going well and that people are not happy because he doesn't want to be on this road trip in the first place.
How old is Paul Dano in this movie?
I think he's supposed to be like 17 or 18.
No, I mean like the actor.
Oh, I have no idea.
Like, do you think? Because I looked it up. I think Paul Dano is 36 now.
Okay.
And this movie came out in 2006.
Okay.
So it's 14 or 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been 21.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 36 going on 14. Like he's a young looking dude.
That's what I mean, right? Like I thought about it because on the movie I was like, Paul Dano still looks exactly like this. Aside from the black
the emo, the scene kid haircut makes him look even younger. But very much in the face. He hasn't aged at all.
He's got that always about to start crying look on him. He's got like the weak chin, so he's sort of always
quivering chin. Chin.
But he's like enthralled that his parents are arguing. And then in the next room over, Olive and Grandpa can't hear them fighting, but they're like going over the routine one last time.
Cute.
And
Olive is doing tiger, like scary tiger.
He's like showing her how to growl.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Moment. It's like the only peek that you get at her routine before you actually see her do her routine later on in the movie, which is like so rad.
Mm-hmm.
But so they're tucking into bed for the night, and Olive asks her grandpa does she ask him if she's beautiful or if she thinks that she can win?
She says, well, she's nervous about the show because she doesn't want to lose because her dad hates losers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because her dad drilled it into her. Like, if we're going to go to this pageant, we're only going to go if you think you can win. Olive, do you think you can win this pageant? And she's like, yeah, of course, because she's a little girl. And who would tell their dad no in that instance?
Who's going to be like, no, Dad, I think I need a few more years to work on it.
Yeah.
Like,
I have about a 42% chance. At least she's going to say yes. So she, in a bout of nervousness, she like asks her grandpa if he thinks that she can win. And he's like, are you kidding? I think you're the most beautiful girl in the world. And I'm not just saying that because I think because you're smart or because I think that you're important. No, I think you're one of the most beautiful girls in the world. And I was like, that's a little, I don't know. I mean, that's sweet, but it's not.
I mean, and like, I see what you're saying. Like, okay, there's another important part to this that kind of rounds out Sam's pedophilic accusations, which is like, he goes out of his way to say that, like, you're not a loser if you tried.
Yeah.
And even if you do lose, you're at least trying to win, which makes you a winner.
Yeah.
Which he sort of flips his, he complicates the dumbass dad's logic so that like Abigail Breslin's character, Olive, can just be like, I do feel better about myself now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very sweet moment.
It's actually a really well acted scene.
Yeah.
For the two of them. I mean, I think they both got Oscar nominations for this movie.
I don't remember.
They did. Yeah, they did.
They did.
Alan Arkin won for supporting actor,
Totally,
which is
I can
amazing.
see that.
We'll find out why that's amazing in a couple minutes, probably. And then Abigail Breslin surprisingly wasn't the youngest. I thought she was the youngest supporting actress nominee, but she is not.
No, it was East Southern Wild Girl, right? It was Quvenzhané Wallis, I think.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Neither have I, but she was like,
she was like the third youngest or something.
Wow,
supporting actress nominee,
but really impressive.
She's good. She's good. Yeah.
Like
so,
sorry.
Oh yeah. No, you go. You tell.
This is very. I was just gonna comment on how I think that, like, I was actually, like, every time I watch this movie, I'm stunned by Abigail Breslin's performance. But like this particular time, like, I really just noticed all of the nuances and the way she cried, and it's like, you're not a little girl acting in a way, like you're how am I going to say, you're capturing the performance of being this age with this pressure.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a really, really great scene.
Cam, that's because she's not acting. She's just being.
Exactly.
She's no. She's not acting. She's reacting.
She's found her center. That's my favorite acting term, my acting bullshit term. Yeah. Just find your center.
My favorite thing is it's about the craft. And, like you just got to really dig into the process of the craft and get into.
You got to do the work.
You gotta do the work.
Do the work.
All about the work.
Yes.
And then leave the work at home.
Wait.
But most importantly,
it's about cult classic witchcraft movie, The Craft.
Well, I don't know what the fuck
that,
you're talking
gotta be an
about.
actor. Like fuck William Shakespeare.
Is that on our list? That's got to be on our list for next Halloween month. Okay,
one for sure. Chill spot, bringing you the idea.
So Dad and Mom finish arguing, but Dad's like, you know what? I'm not a loser. I gotta fix this. I'm gonna fix this. So he runs outside, and he's like, I think I can push this van by myself, and he tries doing it, but no, he can't because he's little Greg Kinnear.
Let that be a lesson,
he sees these dudes.
Big problems. You can't do it on your own all the time, honey.
He sees these dudes outside. I think there's a bar attached to this motel, but so he sees these dudes outside with like mopeds. So he presumably like buys it off him or like rents it off him. And he ends up on the highway on this little moped because his book publisher guy he knows is I think where's he, Odessa or something? Like he's nearby at this conference. This
he's like 20 miles away from where they are.
Like he's like not very far. So he drives to this hotel to confront Bryan Cranston. Basically to be like, sell my book, goddammit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He does this whole thing where he's like in the lobby and he calls him. And he's like, I don't know where the fuck you are. I'm in the hotel. And like hangs up. And then he calls him on his cell phone, but then like hears the guy's cell phone in the lobby. So he walks up to him and he's like, hey, asshole.
Yeah. He like catches him ignoring his call openly and like confronts him. And he like pulls Bryan Cranston aside and like Bryan Cranston tells him like, listen, I did try to sell your book and I did tell you that I think I could sell this. But whenever I tried to pitch it to somebody, nobody had heard of you. Nobody knew who you were. So nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares. You lost. Like you're nobody. I think he tells him that he's like, you're nobody. So like, I couldn't sell your book, man. It's over. Give up. It's done.
Very cathartic moment in this film because I wasn't. No one I think is terribly fond of the father character, but this is that turning point, right?
Yeah.
Where he's done a lot of like negative character development, where it's like you hate him and you hate him and you hate him,
Right.
and then he peaks in that.
Yeah.
And then for the rest,
he peaks
of the
at
film,
his bottom. He's
exactly. He peaks at rock bottom.
Yeah.
But from that moment on, I found the movie really let up on that character. They're just kind of like, okay, now he's just sort of focusing on trying to get Olive.
Well, now that he knows
Although
that
he dug a pretty deep hole when he called his daughter fat. So
I totally agree. I don't feel bad for him whatsoever. I was like,
that's like it's going to be hard to climb that hill after
exactly.
you did that.
I was like, you've atoned. I still think you're a shitty person.
No, he's going to have to answer for that when she's older.
Oh, for sure.
By the time she gets to college and takes like intro to feminism, like she is going to come back at Christmas
he's gonna
and
have
demand some answers.
She's have to pay for her therapist when she eventually has numerous mental health issues. Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
So this is the first Breaking Bad actor that we get to see. We will see another one later on.
Breaking Bad cameo 1 of 2.
But with his head hung low. Dad gets back on the moped and he's driving on the freeway and a big truck like honks at him and shit.
Yeah.
And he eventually gets into bed and closes his eyes and then, night goes by, sun goes up and Olive comes into the room and is like, hey, Mom, Dad, Grandpa won't wake up.
Oh.
And then it's immediately found out that the grandpa has fallen like close to death at this point. And they're like cuts hard to like an ambulance and they're driving to a hospital.
They're like following an ambulance to the hospital. Yeah.
And then they're in the waiting room. And I'm trying to think, there's something specific that happens in the waiting room that's important.
So Toni Collette's character calls a family meeting and says, hey, she's trying to explain to the kids what's going on because she's a good ass mom. This whole movie is just watching Toni Collette be a good ass mom.
Real talk.
she's the only character, like I would say, without flaws, basically.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
a little bit.
Well, her whole struggle is dealing with everyone.
She's just a total Mary Sue.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, the SJW is ruining our movies from 2006.
Little Miss Sunshine is the reason why Daisy Ridley wasn't good in Star Wars.
Wait a minute,
guys. What the fuck?
But yeah, no. So Toni Collette calls like a family meeting and is like, "Hey, so the doctors are obviously doing everything they can, but we need to make peace with the fact that God might take Grandpa today."
Mm-hmm.
And she gets upset and she starts crying. And Paul Dano's character like writes a note to Olive that says like, "Go hug Mom," which is very sweet. And she goes,
he's like, I want to take care of my family, but I've got an image to uphold here.
Exactly. I gotta think about my brand, Olive. Go hug Mother.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
But so it's very.
The doctor comes in, and it's very like it's so. I'm gonna say clinical. That's hospital, but yeah, she's just like she informs them that they lost him, like he's dead.
Oh no!
And he's overdosed on drugs because we have seen that he left the retirement home because he was doing heroin.
Mm-hmm.
But we see a scene of him at the family home doing more heroin, so he's not stopped doing drugs this whole time.
He simply switched from heroin to cocaine.
No, he's snorting heroin.
He's been doing he snorts heroin the whole time.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be heroin. It looks exactly like cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know
I
they all
think heroin that you
use like
snort.
vitamin B12 powder in movies for them to snort, but I didn't know that it was supposed to be heroin. I thought it was just supposed to be cocaine.
No, it's heroin.
Fun fact:
Well,
that's why that's like kind of why that's implied. Like it's his age plus how often he does it, plus the way he does it. Like it's very reckless and dangerous.
Fun fact: we didn't have vitamin B12 for a big cake sketch that we did with Zach, where he had to snort cocaine, fake cocaine. So we got like flour, but then he immediately looked it up and was like, "Oh, that's also terrible for you. You should not snort flour."
Oh,
yeah.
So, do you guys want to know what our trick was? We had a nice little straw, and he hit it with his hand. And every time he inhaled the flour into his mouth and nearly choked himself to death. But boy, did it make comedy.
It's fucking amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a move.
Nothing like bumping a line and immediately being like,
The first time. Yeah, there's a couple takes I think like that, or he would just stop right away. It's like flour in his mouth.
I love that.
Cake
That's
mouth.
so funny.
So
That's how I do
Grandpa.
cocaine. I don't know about you
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Straight to the mouth.
straight
Yeah.
to
Just
the
suck
mouth.
it up. Just slurp it.
Inhale it.
Sprinkle it in some coffee.
Digest
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's Splenda, but Grandpa's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead, and the full family is like gathering to like go see him one last time.
No. Because before that, the bereavement counselor comes in and says, "Hey, so
There's a
here are the
terrible
forms."
bereavement counselor.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny because like the doctor is like, Linda will be in a second to like tell you about next steps, and he like looks and he like ducks into a doorway and just goes, "Linda!"
Yeah.
Perfect.
And she comes out and she's all like stressed out. So she like tells them what to do. And and Greg Kinnear's character is like telling her about like how they were on their way to a beauty pageant in California and they left from Albuquerque. And she goes, Albuquerque? Because there's a whole other set of forms. If you're going to take the body across state lines, there's like so much more paperwork. And he's like, no, we don't have time. You don't understand. We have to be there by 3:00. And she's like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like noon.
Yeah. She's like, you're not getting there at all. God. So there's another foil in their way, which is like now that the grandpa has died and he's died out of state.
What an obstacle. Grandpa's dead. And what are we going to do with his corpse?
And they're out of state too. So it's like, you can't transport a body across state lines.
Apparently.
Which is like heavily illegal. I learned in this movie.
Yeah. So they gather as a family and they like go to see him. And then like, this is like Greg Kinnear's like rising energy where he's just like, he's still on his we're not losers bit, but in a much more motivational way where you're like.
In an actually helpful way.
Yeah, in helpful. He's just like, we still got to do this. We still got to go. We're not going to lose this. Like Olive, we're going to get you to your pageant.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, no, this is what Grandpa would have wanted.
Yes.
He did not come this far and he would have wanted nothing more than to see Olive do her pageant. Sorry, the root beer is getting to me and I am belching into this microphone and I'm trying to like hold it in, but I can't. It's like that John Mulaney joke where it's like, why do you try and talk through the burp? Just burp.
Right.
But he's like, Grandpa would have wanted this and winners don't give up. So he tucks Grandpa into the bed sheet that they used to cover his body within the hospital and is like,
do these windows open? Can we open these windows?
Yeah. I mean, like,
come on.
Suspension of disbelief, like the windows in the hospital open, which is like definitely not a thing in a hospital. But
maybe in, weird California small town hospital.
I would hope that with private healthcare, you can't open the window in a hospital.
Honestly, I feel like with private healthcare, you could probably open a window. I feel like that's
option.
Probably why.
They paid for that option.
Exactly.
I would pay $2,000 a month just to not have the option to jump out a window in anything.
You need the penthouse hospital room? Yeah, you can open the window.
So they get Frank and what's Paul Dano's character's name again? Dwayne. So they get Frank and Dwayne to like go outside under that window. It's like go under that window. Olive has to like look out, like keep lookout. And basically, Tony Collette and Greg Kinnear like lift Grandpa through the window down to Frank and Dwayne. And then they all just rush him into the back of the fucking van. They put him in the back. And they push the van down.
It's like
they push the van down and hop in.
I gotta say, my favorite part of this whole sequence is like the dad's sort of like losing his marbles a little bit, and he's like, "No, come on, we'll just take it with us.
Yeah,
and we'll deal with it when we get to California." And like Tony Collette is like, what? No, of course not. But and then I don't know what he says, but he says something, and there's this beat, and she's just like,
Fuck it.
Whatever. Let's
We're doing it.
And this is in broad daylight. Like this is noon.
Yes. This is supposed to be at like noon.
I think it is like if you think about it, because like Daddy-O would have gotten to the hotel super late.
Yeah.
When it's early.
Yeah.
And then I imagine
because he said that they wanted to leave at 7:40. That's in the movie.
Yeah. So it's probably before that.
And Steve Carell's energy is so good in this whole movie. Like there's a point where like the ambulance pulls up with an emergency emergency as they're trying to get the window, and Steve Rowe's like, no, 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 no. He's like doing like a body movement, like don't do the body yet. There's someone there.
Oh,
Like,
cute.
he's also dressed
watch
all in
it.
white, which we haven't mentioned yet.
Oh, that's right. He is dressed. He's always dressed in white for the whole film.
Yeah.
He's got like a white dress shirt and white pants. He's just all white.
Yeah. Like a linen Miami Vice thing going on.
Yeah.
But so they smuggle Grandpa's corpse out of the hospital and pull him in the trunk.
And then anyway, they get away with Grandpa.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Somehow nobody was in that parking lot. I mean, like suspension of disbelief, obviously, for this.
I was about to.
We gotta get him out of there.
We talked about it when we were watching the movie, where it's like, realistically speaking, one person would notice what's happening, but at the same time,
there's just no way to make it look like you're not carrying a body.
But
you can't lug a body around and make it not look like that's what you're doing.
But the best part about that is that who gives a shit? It's better that they got away with Grandpa.
Yeah, it's kind of lit that they pull it off.
And then one of the best things in this movie that happens is the horn breaks on the van, so it just beeps the whole time. It's like
It just won't stop.
Incites a police officer to pull them over because their horn is just like beeping the whole time. And the police officer is DEA agent Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. I forgot. I always forget he's in this movie.
I mean, I never knew it because I hadn't seen Breaking Bad the first, second, or third time I watched this movie. But No, go please. I want to know what you call him.
I was just gonna say he is like the retired version of Bruce Willis. I feel like.
Dean Norris. Dean
Norris. Yeah. He's the discount Bruce Willis. I'm sure he'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
I would.
Honestly, he's like a TV actor with some film credits. He probably loves that comparison. He's
doing fucking well, man.
He's the guy that pulls them over, and
he's the cop.
Greg Kinnear, ever the smooth guy, freaks out completely, and when the officer moves to go to the back of the van, Greg Kinnear just goes, "No, don't."
Yeah,
this is not.
Well, no, he says something very specific, which is funny. He just goes, as he's about to open, he's like, "It's not illegal."
He's like, "Sir, you understand that you are giving me cause to search your trunk right now."
Yeah. Right.
And then Dean Norris pops the trunk, and all of the Grandpa's porno mags fall out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Funny.
But there's something. Okay, I should say, when he opens it up, the way they have Grandpa's corpse. Okay, if you can imagine, I'm not going to draw it. This is a podcast. Imagine the trunk of.
Describe it with your words. Give me a word picture, Cam.
Open trunk of a car, and Grandpa's head is up by where the top left portion, and then it comes down and up and down again, and it literally looks like someone with their knees to their chest, holding in that position. And it's unmistakable. If there's no way,
it's a body.
It's a body.
It's so clearly a body.
It's a body wrapped in cloth.
Absolutely.
And then,
but the cop is distracted by all the porno, and he calls Greg Kinnear to the back. He's like, "Get back here!"
Yeah,
and he calls him back, and he's like, "I love this stuff."
He's so
the porno, and he's like, "Oh yeah, look at these."
Yeah. It's like he's got side little mumble lines of "Yeah, so dirty, yeah."
And he's like, "Oh yeah, nice family you got here, but you need a little something on the side, yeah."
I get it.
Yeah,
so
nice family you got
weird.
there, but sometimes that extra yeah.
Hey, Tony Collette.
And then he comes across the gay porno magazine that Steve Carell's character bought, and he pauses and he looks at him and he goes, "Well, I'll let you go."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
I think he goes "Well, different strokes" or something like that.
Exactly.
He does say something like that.
Well, to each their own. Anyway,
Well, love is love, and here we go.
Get that horn fixed. Bye.
But from beyond the grave, Grandpa saves the day with his smut. Saves all their asses.
All of his porno.
Yeah, and saves him from getting arrested. And it's it's the best thing in the world. It's that to me is the moment that Alan Arkin got the Oscar.
Yeah, really.
He was funny, technically.
Yeah. And then I will say, what happens next is the saddest moment in this entire movie. It's so horrible, actually. It's really, really kind of sad.
It truly, it's heartbreaking. It's like soul crushing, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like,
so earlier in the hospital, Olive had like this book that had a bunch of like eye tests, and she was just like, oh, like Dwayne, like do these eye tests with me. And then he didn't do it. And she just was obsessed with like having people do these eye tests. So she has it in the van, and then she's having like Dwayne do the eye tests, and the colorblind eye test comes up to see if you're colorblind. And as it turns out, Dwayne is colorblind, and he never knew it because he can't see the number. I think it's 13 in the little circle. And then Frank, because he's a very smart man, says, you're colorblind, Dwayne. And then there's a silence. And then Frank says, it means you can't fly planes in the Air Force.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which is like,
the reason why he's silent right now is that he's not going to speak until he gets into the Air Force.
Oh,
yeah, and then it's actually kudos to Paul Dano. We all know that Paul Dano's a good actor, but he has this very visceral, physical freak out where he starts trembling in his hands up into his shoulders, and then he starts punching the vehicle, just like the roof and the door, and obviously everyone freaks out. I was like, pull over! Oh my goodness! And he is so like compelled to scream that he covers his mouth with like both of his hands and runs from the car into this like dusty field like fast as he can and just starts screaming, like screaming these like
fuck,
these loud, very visceral screams of pain. And yeah, it's really the part of the movie where I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. That part, I will say, I've seen this movie so many times, and that part always seems like it comes sooner than I think.
I mean, it's not a long movie, Loomis.
No, it's a fairly short movie, but yeah, that moment is so like, oh my God. Because this whole time you're not wondering, but you're just like, there's something, there's so much, he's so deep, that character, like in terms of different ways. And then that happens and you're like, oh my God, that's terrible. Like that's his dream and it's crushed.
And it's really all that's kind of been revealed about him too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's his whole personality from what you know about him.
Well, what I like about Paul Dano's character, like Will was saying, is that like he's so deep in that, like, okay, so the adult in me is like, it's being a fucking brat, like talk, like you're annoying. But then he's also shown many occasions where he's not a jerk. Like he like cares about his mom to a certain extent.
Angsty. He's just an angsty teenager.
Yes. It's a good way of putting it. He's angsty.
Yeah.
And on some level, he is being dragged along. Like I think about me as a teenager. If I all of a sudden had to uproot my weekend to drive to California for my little sister, and like I think all of this is bullshit, like obviously you're going to be a little.
You know what else I forgot to mention at the beginning of all of this?
What's that, Sam?
Olive is technically his half sister.
What?
So like there's a part very beginning of the movie when Toni Collette.
That's a revelation to me.
Yeah, I was what?
No, seriously, like go back to the beginning of that movie and watch the dinner scene where they're eating the fried chicken and when they're explaining about how Olive got into pageantry, and Toni Collette's character is like, Dwayne was gone visiting his dad for the break. So, and then so we took Olive to Florida and her aunt got her into pageants. Olive is his half sister.
What?
Yeah.
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 Oh, Dwayne is Daryl's son from a previous marriage.
Wow.
Sorry, I decided to fact check that because I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then his other sister, Toni Collette's other daughter, got beheaded in a freak accident. So.
Don't
in a much gorier prequel to Little Miss Sunshine.
Alenka remembers that.
I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like he's very like disconnected from all of this because like Olive is his sister, but she's his half sister. She's like, and there's such an age gap between them. It makes sense that he like wouldn't give a shit about any of the stuff that she's getting into.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
There's many different family members all related to each other differently in this whole movie. It's like the dad's father, the wife's brother,
exactly,
half siblings,
dead grandfather.
That also explains why like Greg Kinnear's character and Paul Dano's character like barely have a relationship.
Yeah, they don't even talk. It's
fucking stepdad. He doesn't give a shit. Like,
I have no logic for this, but him being his stepdad makes the dad more pathetic for some reason. Like, I have really no reason for that. There's nothing wrong with me, the stepdad.
No, there's something about him not being his biological son that you're just like, yeah, of course Paul Dano's character doesn't give a shit about him.
You know what it is? It's because I have more respect for Paul Dano's character.
Yeah. Because this fucking, your mom married this fucking loser with a
Such a
9-step
loser.
program and wants to be a motivational speaker, but hasn't done anything with his life.
Girl.
Like, that's the thing, right? Like, motivational speakers, usually you become a motivational speaker because you've done something else. You were successful in another field.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you wrote a book and then transferred over to motivational speaking. But he just decided to skip all of that.
That's a good point.
Telling people about their lives.
I never thought about it that way.
What gave you that's why he's such a fucking loser.
Yeah.
What gave you the right?
But it's true because he doesn't have any education. He doesn't have any credentials. He doesn't
as far as we know, no.
He's like if I graduated high school and was like, I'm going to be a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
That's his life trajectory. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm 18.
Yeah.
I know everything about the world.
He's just coasting on the good looks of Greg Kinnear, and that's all he's doing.
Done.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Like, his success completely relies upon people being successful off of this like system that he made up.
Totally.
And it's so basic too. Like, you can see it on the projection screen at the very beginning of the movie. It's like, be a good person, have a dream, work really hard, don't give up, overcome obstacles, success.
Give me $5.
It's like very basic, very bullshit, like motivation. It's like Instagram motivation. You can follow an Instagram account for free and get the same motivation. Guys like charging money for.
I got better motivation on Snapchat stories.
True.
I get more from Now This on Twitter. That's like 60-second documentary series than this fucking guy.
I had a more wholesome experience with Blog TO. Watching the recipe videos for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So Dwayne is like out there screaming and he's like unconsolable, and mom comes down to tries to like get him back, but he's like, no, I'm not leaving. And then he basically just calls out not his whole family, but like half his family of just like divorce, suicide, drug addict. Like, you're all fucking losers. Like, I'm not part of this family anymore. I hate this family. And he just wants to stay there. Yeah. And then there's a touching scene. Like, mom comes back up and then Abigail walks down. She's got like, she's wearing like big ass boots too. It's kind of funny. It's kind of cute.
Very sweet. Well, it's funny because the dad in his cluelessness is like, I'm just concerned about the time. All of you want to go talk to him? Like, it's so just like, wow, you're bad at this, man.
Oh, you're so bad.
Yeah. But all she does is she comes down and then basically just holds him and puts her head on his shoulder. And he's just like, yeah, okay, I know.
He's like,
and he gets up and they walk up and he apologizes and they get back on the road, and he's probably scarred, but he'll be fine. He's colorblind.
Yeah.
Now that Dwayne is talking, though, that character, like, I don't know how to explain it. This whole movie is like, they give you these images of these characters that are so, like, in a word, like starkly negative. Mine is for Olive. Olive is sweet through the whole film. But
except for that time where she says a bunch of racist slurs, it's really weird.
What are you talking about?
She screamed the N-word at the top of her lungs. That seemed a little uncalled for.
Her passion is comedy.
Yeah, I mean, that's why she got the Oscar nom.
She comes out in blackface.
I don't like being lied
Alan
to.
Arkin's character is teaching her black.
My grandpa taught me this one.
That would actually make sense.
Whoops.
We're all lying, Alenka. I'm sorry.
That's not what happens.
A small part of me wishes that was true. Small evil part of me. Yeah. But we were talking. We were.
Paul Dano gets
back on the van.
I was saying,
but him talking is weird. Yeah.
How you watch the film, like they all open up and they don't change really in terms of like difference in their behavior, but they all just become so much more likable and well-rounded in 3D. And I think that large in part has to do with how at this point in the film, now that everyone's had their freak out, everyone's had their fucking moment.
Everyone's had their moment.
We get to the city and we're almost there. We're almost at this hotel and everyone is just like, get all of to the pageant game mode. Like
everyone's on board. Everyone's just like, this is our goal.
Yeah,
it's always been their goal, but now everyone's on board.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Grandpa
you're right.
died for this.
Yeah. Well, it also almost seems like it's the only thing that gives them a purpose right now at this point, right? Like the one guy is trying to kill himself. The dad is not going to have his book. He's not a motivational person. And the brother just found out he can't do his dream.
Yeah.
Grandpa's dead. So.
Grandpa didn't even make it. Grandpa's in the trunk chilling.
But it's this joy and this passion is so infectious at this point.
Yeah.
Because they do this thing where it's like, okay, where's the exit? And it's like, there it is. And they get off on the exit, but they slowly discover that it's the wrong exit.
No.
Yeah, because they're driving away from the hotel. They see it.
They'll say the registration window for the pageant closes at 3, and they get into town at
it's like 2:50.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2:50.
2:50.
Yeah. So like Cam said, they're like, they see the hotel where the pageant is being held, and like he gets on what he thinks is the exit, and then they start slowly going past the hotel. And they're like, what's happening? You're going past it.
No, freaking out. And he's like, this is a one-way road. I can't turn around.
So he gets off at the next exit, and it leads into a parking lot on the other side of the hotel, like across the way. So he just like busts through the barrier
because they can't brake. If they brake, they're gonna have to restart the car.
Exactly.
And they have to push it again.
Because the van doesn't stop.
So they just burst through this parking lot, and they're like swerving and shit, and they eventually get onto this road that ends in a cul-de-sac. So like, or like it's a roundabout, and like they're just going around, and he's like, I'm not missing this pageant, and pulls into like. In sort of hotel parking complexes, there's like these extra special pathways that'll get you right to the hotel.
Yeah.
So he like pulls onto one of those.
It's basically a sidewalk. He basically
slightly bigger sidewalk, and like he dodges all these like obstacles and people,
rollerbladers and shit.
But they end up in the parking lot, and they're like, go, and they open up the car door, and it just falls off.
Don't just fall. Moment of like, we don't need the van anymore.
Exactly.
It's fine. We got him. We're here. Fuck it. The van's falling apart.
If this was a cartoon, and if this was our reality where it becomes a talking van, its wheels would go like,
right. Like its fender would like turn into a frown.
It would be like, run, Frank, and then fucking Steve Carell runs like he literally this whole scene of him just like running through the doors, like stopping for the automatic doors, running, and he's just like, like literally bolting through the hotel to get to the sign up sheet just to like hold all of his spot. Like it's so good. He's so motivated to just get there.
Carell run on The Office, but like Steve Carell does this run where like he doesn't move his torso. It's like straight up.
It's all in the elbows. It's just like
elbows. He's just like all right angles all the way to the hotel room. Runs gets to the hotel door, and it's like 3:05. And like, I'm here to register Olive, and the family catches up with him. And the lady at the registration desk is like, sorry, it's too late. You're too late.
You should have been here.
You should have been here.
This is the fucking sparkle magic lady from Donnie Darko. What's her name? Sparkle Motion.
I see her in a bunch of stuff, but I know she's one of those actresses where it's like, I see you everywhere and I don't know your name.
Yeah.
She's in the Mindy Project.
I'll see if who's she in the Mindy Project?
She's the nurse, the drunk
There's
nurse.
a few of them.
No, she's like the drunk nurse.
Oh, like the old woman.
Yeah, the old woman.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. She's always playing like just like a fucking jaded old woman in every single thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. So she's like a
Beth Grant, by the way.
Beth Grant. Yeah, she's always like a stuck-up pageant lady in this movie, and she's like, sorry, like I can't help you. That's not the accent that she has. I can't help you.
You're 4 minutes late.
You can't sign up for the pageant, sweetheart.
Sorry, darling. You should have been here at 3:00 sharp. Yeah.
What if it wasn't like an accent like that? What if it was like the weird French Canadian accent? She's like, oh fuck, you can't sign up anymore, bud. Eh?
So sorry. We too late there, bud. You showed up not on time.
Not on time. The TD Bank.
Yeah, the TD Bank.
The TD Bank.
Just start speaking in French. What the fuck?
Tabernacle, I can't open up the registration for you.
Oh, Jesus.
But so the guy who's like running tech next to her sorry, the Jaeger's starting to hit, so I'm getting sloppy.
The guy who's right next to us, he's on the computer machine.
He's the one like registering all of them, and he's just like, oh, it takes like 5 minutes. I can do it. And she's like, well, it's your time. And then she leaves and she registers. And then he just goes like, I'm not working for these fucking people next year.
Which is so funny because now that I'm in theater, I know this guy.
Totally.
Like, I know this guy so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? He's been mistreated and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, he has a right to. You know, he's probably with IATSE. He's like, fuck it. I'll work somewhere else.
Running tech for a pageant must be the worst gig.
Oh, yeah. So the pageant starts. They get in. She's like getting ready with her mom in the back dressing room. Before that, they meet Miss Universe, that Miss Universe of that year, right? It's Miss Universe, or is it Miss California?
Miss California.
Miss California.
They meet Miss California, who's there, the adult one, who's like signing autographs, and it's so cute. Abigail Breslin walks up and she gets her autograph, but before she leaves, she goes, Miss California, do you eat ice cream? And she's like, oh yeah, I love ice cream. I eat it all the time. And so that's just like, it's a cute
Olive
moment.
like walks away and she's like, Mom, she eats ice cream.
Yeah, it's full circle.
So cute.
Actually, Miss California, despite her small contribution to the film, was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Because we'll get to it as we continue.
We'll get to why she is, but she's the best.
So they go backstage. Mm-hmm. They get everyone set. They go backstage. I'm trying to remember exactly what happens next.
Okay. One of my favorite parts happens. I mean, like, it's my favorite part because I've seen the movie, but tech guy walks up to Olive and he's like, Olive, right? And she's like, yeah. He's like, I need your music. And she's like, oh, right, my music. And she goes and she gets her Discman because it's like 2005. She has a Discman. Get over it, Zoomers.
Sam has a problem with
2006.
But yeah, she gets her CD and she hands it to the guy and she's like, track 12. And he's like, is this your music? Like, who gave this to you? And she's like, oh, like my grandpa. He taught me all my moves. And he's like, your grandpa told you to listen to this? And like, it's important foreshadowing for later, but he's like, who gave you this music? And she's like, my grandpa. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, he's like well, cool.
And walks away. And his like, you know, like typical tech guy, he's like, this is going to cause problems for later, but I'm just the guy who presses play. Just never mind.
It's my job to put the CD in. It's not my job to care about what's coming out the speakers.
Exactly. Like, I don't care what. All I care about is the speakers. So he walks away. And Olive like starts the show. So they're at the pageant finally, and the show is starting. And like,
and it's classic pageant. You're like, what is going on now?
And
like, what is this shit?
Fucking thumb. It is so. She goes on stage in the same ponytail that she's been wearing for the
whole
entire movie.
Yeah.
And it's just different clothes.
And it's really funny because I brought this up earlier, where it's like. When they leave all of the gas station, they do this thing where it's like, I'm gonna go practice my routine, and then. You get so caught up in the emotions of the family believing in Olive and her getting there that you forget that no one's seen her routine yet.
Yeah, we don't know if she's actually like worthy or not.
Exactly.
She and Grandpa have been practicing in private, completely unsupervised this entire time. No one else in the family knows what her routine looks like.
Yeah. And then like it's starting to dawn on everyone that like maybe she's a little out of her depth here.
Yeah, and like for what it's worth, she does have nice clothes. It's just like
she's
not a pageant family. They don't give a shit about any of this.
Well,
stuff.
Yeah, she didn't come out in like a wig.
Toni Collette like throws some lip gloss and some eyeliner on her, and it's like clear lip gloss. Like she would be better off. She probably put Vaseline on her fucking lips.
It's Vaseline.
It's the same thing, and like threw on some Wet and Wild onto those eyelids. And like called it a day, and then she like slapped a swimsuit on and like went out there. Yeah. It's like she clearly stands out against these like completely done up. I think they walk into the backstage area, and there's like a 4-year-old getting spray tanned. Like
spray. Yeah, it's disgusting.
These little tots.
Yeah, these little toddlers and tiaras are like getting like spray tanned and airbrushed, and she's just back there like, I just have my little one piece on and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Two things do happen kind of during all this. Yeah. Greg Kinnear finds an undertaker service to take his father out of the van. So he says goodbye, basically emotional goodbye to his father, driving away in the undertaker's van. And they're going to take him back to Albuquerque. And the other thing is Dwayne and Frank are kind of sitting kind of in the hallways of this hotel and there's all, the moms and little girls, and they're both kind of like, let's get out of here. We don't like this. So they go down to like the boardwalk and like the ocean, and they have like an emotional chat in a way.
Yeah.
Where basically Dwayne is just like, fuck being a teenager. I hate this life. I just want to go back. I was like, I'm going to find a way to fly planes, colorblind or not. I'm going to do it.
He has this like quintessential line that's just like, and fuck beauty pageants. Life is just one beauty pageant after another. High school, college, work. Fuck that. I was like, shit.
Yeah. Well, and then it's Steve Carell.
When you're wearing sweatpants to your 8:30 a.m. classical studies course, you will learn that life is very much not a pageant.
Yeah. I wish life was maybe a little bit more glamorous.
Exactly. Just you wait. But yeah, no.
Steve Carell has this amazing line where he talks about
somebody to make it.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Carell has this amazing moment where it's like, he tells a story about the author that he's like so well versed in, Proust, and he talks about how he mentions that like all of the best learning experiences that he's ever had were when he was suffering, in the times when he was like, discriminated against and beaten and tortured and all this horrible things that have happened to him, I'm sure.
He was locked up in a basement for like 5 years of his life as a boy. And
he's just shackled to a radiator.
Yeah, typical like 1800s author. He just like sat in a log.
He was drawn and quartered, but lived. Basically, he says, like, because Paul Dano's like, I want to skip to when I'm 18 and just be an adult and move on. And Steve Carell is like, well, you can't miss out on all those years of suffering, because then how else are you going to learn good lessons, right? And he's like, think of high school, like all this suffering you're going to do.
That's a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
Your prime suffering.
That's it. Those are prime suffering years.
That's funny.
They had this sort of like conversation, and like Steve Carell like looks over at Paul Dano, is like, I'm glad you're talking again, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Well, they've been bonding the whole film, right? They have a very like silent but mutual relationship, which is really impressive, actually.
Yeah.
I really like their relationship.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love how
they had that moment. It's like, yeah, you're all right, kid. And then they go back.
Exactly.
They go back to the pageant, and then you kind of have this montage of it's the talent portion of the pageant.
Yeah.
And all of these contestants are like amazing. They're like dancing and singing, and they're just like absolutely blowing away everyone.
Yeah.
Like in the audience, and they immediately leave, and they're just like, Olive can't do this. Like she's like we need to stop her from one, like making a fool of herself, and like also pageants are bullshit. She shouldn't be doing this. Or like Dwayne goes backstage. So does the dad. Like they're all like you need to like we need to stop her from doing this so that she doesn't like have trauma from basically being made fun of.
Doesn't remember this moment for the rest of her life.
The rest of the family.
Actually, one of my favorite lines in the whole film is like you just said, Paul Dano and Steve Carell walk in and they see some girl doing some like sick triple backflip or something, and then immediately like come back out. Paul Dano's like, I'm going backstage, and Steve Carell's like, yeah.
Yeah, you better go do that. But Toni Collette, in her infinite wisdom, again, this movie is just Toni Collette being a really good fucking mom.
Totally.
She's like, guys, I can't stop this. Like, we gotta just let Olive be Olive. Like she's in it. She wants to be in it, and she's gonna do what she's gotta do, and we gotta let her. Yeah. And it's really, really dope. So Olive gets her call to come to the stage to perform her talent segment. And they're like, and Toni Collette pulls her aside and she's like, listen, Olive, if you don't want to do this, we can just leave. Don't worry about it. We can just get out of here. What do you want to do? And Olive just like looks up and she looks at her family and she looks at the like stage manager or whatever, who's like waiting for her very impatiently, might I add.
Well,
time.
Actress is in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She's hilarious in that show.
Wait, what?
I thought I recognized her. She's apparently that actress apparently is in Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's the one who's always like slurping, like, oh, like she's like the cousin or something.
That's so funny. That's good to know. But yeah, no. So Olive like looks to the stage manager and like looks to her family and looks back, and she's like, "I'm gonna go," and she like goes on stage,
like takes her glasses off, and like
takes her glasses off,
puts them on the counter.
So excited. Oh God, my favorite part. I mean, like everybody's favorite fucking part is like literally the climax of the movie. She gets to the stage, she goes up on stage, and she's dressed in like a little kitty 3-piece suit. Yeah,
it's really cute, like a magician's outfit.
She's dressed like
but she's got very different from everyone else.
Yeah,
but she's got like a red headband on and like a top
hat, white shirt, black coat. The drink has Jäger. It's dark. So it's like kind of dark, almost black. White ice cream, red cherries. It looks like Abigail Breslin at the end of this movie.
Sure, gotcha.
There you go.
Roll credits, like this end the episode.
End movie, film.
Come on.
Yeah, so she gets up on stage and she asks for the host to come over, and she grabs his mic and she goes, "I want to dedicate this performance to my grandfather who showed me these moves." And the host is like, hilarious. "Aw, where's your grandfather?" And she goes, "In the trunk of our car."
Okay.
And he's like,
right. Great.
Kids say the darndest things.
Anywho.
Yeah, anyways. And she gets ready and she stands at the center of the stage, and Super Freak by Rick James starts to play. Hence the name of the drink.
She's a very kinky girl.
Proceeds to do the best striptease ever performed by a 6-year-old.
Yeah, it's very clearly a striptease.
The horny grandpa taught his toddler granddaughter a striptease for a beauty pageant.
And it's almost like he did it on purpose to like mock pageants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he knew this is not going to win this. It's
And
just
she was in beauty pageants and was like, "Oh, I got something for you."
I know exactly how we're going to win that particular pageant.
I got a treat for you, motherfuckers.
Exactly. It's hysterical if you think about how, because the grandpa would have had to know how to do that routine.
He's probably watched a lot. Yeah.
I think stripper.
But like what's great about it is like you never watch that scene going like, oh, the grandpa's a pervert. You watch it like it's never like, oh, like they were a grandfather and a granddaughter doing something really bad. It's literally like he's just showing her like funny moves to do. You know what I mean? Like you never watch that scene as if something horrible happened.
Right.
There's a part in her routine where she runs around in circles on the stage.
Exactly.
Like, just she does grab her tie. Like she takes off her like tie that's a part of her costume and like rubs it on her butt. She does the like butt floss thing that you do with your towel when you're in the shower.
Yeah.
But she also runs around in circles and like pretends to be like swimming.
It's very cute.
The butterfly stroke move.
Yeah. It's very cute because like all of the things that are supposed to be like quote unquote sexy moves, like she's 6. She doesn't know how to embody any of that. It's adorable.
But she obviously she doesn't know that these are like sexy moves. She's like 7.
There's a one point where she's holding her hands above her head like this and just not moving.
She's like got her hands. She's like grabbing her wrist with the other hand and just like holds them both above her head and just like stands there.
Oh, it's so sweet.
And so the uptight pageant lady is like, what is this? This is not. And is like trying to get like he's like, cut off the music, try. But like the tech guy that we saw before is like loving it. He's like, he's like, this is way better than everything else. And then, but Miss California is also loving it. That's what I love about this scene. Miss California is actually really into it and like laughing and having fun.
There's at one point where she's like jamming out. She's like smiling. There's a point where
I actually never noticed that before. And you were like, Miss California loves it. And I'm like, oh, she's a beauty queen. She's probably just like staying poised.
No, she's enjoying herself.
No,
just like jamming out.
Really loves it.
Well, there's a part when like Olive takes off her suit coat and like throws it at the judges.
Yeah.
And Miss California is like, woohoo! Oh my God.
So like, but like uptight lady is like trying to get it stopped, but then the dad, like Greg Kinnear, runs up and is just like, what are you doing? And the uptight's like, you get your daughter off that stage. So like he walks over to like Olive, who's still just doing a routine, like nothing's going on. And then suddenly like Greg Kinnear joins into the like gyrating and dancing, and then both Dwayne and Frank run up on stage, and the whole family's basically just like dancing with their daughter on stage, making a mockery of this pageant.
It's the best.
Yeah, like
It's so great.
Gets up there, Paul Dano gets up there, and then like Toni Collette finally gets up there, and they like it's so cute because they just like stop dancing at one point and just like hold hands in a circle and like jump around.
Yes,
like
yes.
kindergarten, and it's like the cutest thing on the planet.
Yeah,
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
warms, like drop facades and just like dance.
Totally warms my heart.
It's the
Your cold heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I haven't had a heartbeat in well over 4 years.
Yeah.
One good one
one song. Yeah.
to last me like at least like a few more, years until I die.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well, hard cut to the security office.
Oh yeah, they go there in security office, and the officer comes out, and he's just like, "Well, we're willing to let you go on one condition: that your daughter never participate in any pageant ever again."
So Olive gets banned from the state of California beauty pageants.
Well, I love because Steve Carell's character turns around and goes, I think we're okay with that.
He's like, I think we could do that. Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's fine.
And then they go home and then the movie ends.
That's it, really.
Like,
And they pile in the car.
Yeah.
Really?
And they sail off.
Well, the ending is actually it's a little bit slow motion, and they push the van one last time.
Yeah.
And they all like run in and one at a time, kind of slow motion hop in, and everyone's cheering. Like they're all working together. So they hop into the van. But then the pageant lady is there's like a toll booth with the fucking like barrier. The pageant lady is sitting there, and the van just like blows by her and breaks through the barrier. Yeah.
Oh God. What a and then
Actually, there is one like sweet moment before they leave where they get back to the van and they open up the trunk to put their bags in, and they see the white sheet that Grandpa was wrapped in.
Right.
And they kind of like sigh because it's just like it's just like lying flat because obviously he's not in there anymore. And Greg Kinnear's character just kind of like looks at it, and they all kind of look at it all sad. And he looks at Olive and he goes, your grandpa would have been so proud of what you did today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everyone's like,
true.
yeah, good job, Olive.
Yeah.
Good job. You would have been proud of all of us.
We never talked.
They roll up the sheet and they put their bags in the car.
We talked about the emotional end of the father saying goodbye to the grandpa, but we forgot about the actually great moment when he's talking to the Undertaker people, and it's just like, he was napping in the back, and he goes, and he didn't wake up. You're like, yep. Yeah. All right, where's the body? And they open up the trunk, and it's still like wrapped up in the trunk,
curled up in the.
They both sort of look at him like, okay.
Yeah.
But they drive into the sunset, and that is how the movie ends.
And then roll credits. What an adventure.
And that is the end of Miss Sunshine.
What a journey we've been on.
Yep.
This has been my favorite movie on the show.
Oh,
because
yay!
This has been so fun. Oh, I want to watch it, but I already checked.
Honored. You should watch the movie.
I actually wanted to ask you this because obviously, I forgive me if you've been asked this question before, either like off or on.
I know
mic,
what you're going to ask, honey.
Yeah, really.
Well, like you've done so many of these episodes, and obviously every single person who picks their movie picks it because they love this movie. They love whatever movie they come onto the show with, and they want you to like it so much. But like, do you feel like you want to watch this movie now? Like, would you turn around and watch this movie?
Here's the thing is that pretty much if it's not on Netflix or it's not extremely easy for me to access, even if I really want to watch it, I'm probably not going to watch it. Will.
That's fair.
Has not sent me the links to the movies that I have not been able to access.
Oh,
so if I want to send some hate to Will,
you got to just message me in the moment.
99% of the work already, but you could also find me with the movies when Netflix doesn't. That'd be fabulous.
But I do apologize. This movie, we did have to like pay for it on YouTube. It's not on any streaming.
I had to rent it on YouTube.
Yeah,
like a guppy.
This is, I think, the first time we've had a break, and I sat on that toilet and I went pee, and I thought to myself, I was like, this is going to be the movie that I watch whenever I feel sad, whenever I feel happy, whenever I want to feel uplifted. I literally sat on the toilet and I had that thought halfway through this movie already. So I'm like, I already feel this connection to this movie, and I really want to watch it.
Okay, I will send you it tonight.
Could you?
It is worth, it is worth doing the extra work to find it somewhere.
The best part is that it's also like, not long. It's only about an hour 45.
No,
It's
Like,
not a big commitment. No, not
Yeah.
at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really great because, like, as much as I love movies, I have a hard time. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, there's times when Sam and I sit down, like, let's watch a movie,
Yeah.
and runtime is a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly.
Or if it's like, hey, do you want to watch this movie? Oh, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it's
Movies
over,
made
if it's
it.
over to like if it is 2 hours and 15 minutes long, I'm like, getting into long territory. I'm not
No.
sure. I don't want
I
to.
don't know if I'm ready for that kind of
But
commitment.
let's watch like,
Yes.
7 episodes of Community.
Exactly.
That's
Anyway, let's watch a
exactly
season of
right.
RuPaul's Drag
Yeah.
Race, shall we?
Yes. But those
Like,
are so
fuck off,
light,
Sam.
man. You know, it's like that's exactly
Yeah.
why this podcast exists, is because movies are too long
Mhm.
and there's so much initial commitment to it. And if you end up not liking it, you can't really just put it away. You're like, well, I already invested, like it's half done. I need to finish it.
Yeah.
And then TV shows, you can watch the first episode, which is usually 30 to 40 to 50 minutes. And you're like, okay, I like it or I
Yep.
don't like it. And
There you
that's
go.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what it is with the TV shows? It's like the reason they put 99 on prices, where it's like you wouldn't buy something if it was $42, but you buy it because it's $41.99. It's like you wouldn't watch a 2-hour movie, but you would watch 2 half-an-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's okay.
Or other way, 4
2-hour episode. Yeah.
Or yeah.
I'm not a
Or
fucking
all
count.
of Ratchet in one sitting. Me. Oh yes, honey.
Did you
I'm
do
not
that?
working right now.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
girl.
All right, girl.
Good for you, man.
Damn.
I can't binge like that
8
anymore.
episodes. It's only 8
I'm actually kind of glad
episodes.
that a lot of series are going back to like periodical, like
Mhm.
episode, like week by week releases.
Although not to like wholly open up this can of worms. At the same time, buddy of mine made an excellent argument about the whole like because like WandaVision and Mandalorian, like they all come out week to week. It's like that's really great, but this show is exclusive to this platform.
Yeah.
And I'm already paying for that.
True.
And I'm
True.
used to this model of like having everything.
Instant
like-
access for my payment, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it'd be different if it was like some cable thing,
Sense.
but like you're paying for the premium of having it all available. That's why you're paying for it.
Yeah, but you know what? I really appreciate the fact that like nobody can give me that like fucking annoying argument that's like, oh, well, it's like only like 6 episodes long. Just like watch it in an evening. It's like, no, we all have
Yeah.
the same amount of time to watch an episode because it's not released all in one sitting right away.
I mean, it definitely extends hype, right? Like the
Yeah.
the WandaVision conversation is like weeks long now, as
Yeah.
opposed to like we all ran through it in a weekend and it was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
No, WandaVision's great. I'm actually really enjoying
I'm
it.
so glad we don't have to catch a GO train after this, Cam. Just
I can't. I'm so excited that I'm not. I'm so excited that I'm not going to throw up after this. This is great. Might have some
I'm
chips and go
less
to bed.
excited.
Oh,
But that's fine.
But yeah,
Well-
no. I'm so glad that you liked just us telling you like drunkenly about this movie and like it. And it really
Yes.
is such a good feel good movie. Like
Mhm.
it's got its conflict. Like it's not, all the way sunny all the way through. Not like
mhm.
pun intended.
Right.
But
Little Miss Sunny.
it's got its conflict, but
Yeah.
it really does make you feel so good. And I feel like in these quarantine days, I needed to watch this movie.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm
Yeah.
glad for the excuse to do it because like holy shit, does this movie just ever make you feel good about it?
Totally.
Yeah.
I can tell I'm gonna cry.
Well, you will.
But like happy tears. It's not
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not sad. It's like nice little happy tears.
Yeah.
Alenka,
Talk to me.
yeah, how many 6-year-old Gail Breslins do you give this movie?
No, those don't exist. Gail does not
They
exist.
will.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna give them. We're gonna say that she starts going by Gail at 75, so I'm gonna give them 75
Mhm.
out of 75 Gail Breslins, baby.
Hey! Perfect score.
Yeah.
I don't remember what our score was on Jaw. I think it was like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 or something like
Who
that.
knows? All
I
I
don't
know.
even remember. Was it
We don't even know what the
was it
rating
like
system
hot
was.
Richard Dreyfuss's? I can't remember what
I
the.
think it was.
I think
I
it
think
was.
it was. How many-
Like,
yeah.
Zaddy Richard.
How many Zaddy Richard
Seven
Dwight-
Zaddy Richard.
Richard
out of 10.
Dreyfuses.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Ugh.
very excited about this movie. And Will, if you fucking
It is
don't
worth
send
the
it
extra
to me,
work
I
to
will
find
be
it or like
devastated.
rent it on YouTube or Amazon Prime or whatever. It's worth it.
Such a good
It's
time.
So
Always
good.
gonna
Yeah.
hook
So
me up.
good. Honestly, we rented it for 48 hours technically. I might watch it again in like the next 2 days.
I was about to say.
No lie.
At some point, we'll be like in a depressive episode in the next couple days and be
Yeah.
like,
Gotta watch
"Fuck,
it.
we have it.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Well, I want to thank
thank
you
you for
two
having
for
us.
having us again. This was the best.
Yeah.
Well, and if our listeners, are feeling down and want some cheering up, where can they find you? Because you cheer me up every week.
Oh, that's
Will.
that sounded insincere. That I actually that was a genuine
Listen, I am drunk, and when I am drunk, I get painfully honest and tell everybody exactly what I think about them.
So you shouldn't say what you're about to say.
No, I want to say
I've never fucking hated someone more.
No, I'm sad that another episode has come to an end. And I genuinely wish that I had more of an excuse to talk to you guys. And Will, I never got to talk to you that much when we went to school together, but I am so grateful that we have become friends outside of school. I genuinely enjoy your company. And Alenka, you are the sunshine of my life. And I think that you're the best. And I can't wait until we can sit in Will's basement apartment again.
Yes.
And talk about movies and fuck around.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
It's going to be great. I think you're both really neat.
As the highest compliment, I thank you.
Always good, and I'm grateful for our postgraduate relationship.
Absolutely,
It's one of my highest achievements is that Bill Innes likes me.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, on the billboard at home.
It's on wax.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But to answer Will's question, you can find us. You can find us. Our social media is.
Sorry. Can I interrupt you?
Please. I mean, you're going to do it anyway.
Will was like, "Where can we find you?" And I was like, "I love you."
You make me so happy. And when your name shows up in the Twitch stream, I just,
Sorry, go ahead.
Anywho, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at ChillSpot Show. That's our handle. You can find us on all of the places you listen to the Haven't Seen It podcast at the Chill Spot podcast. If you just type that in, we are somehow the only show with that name. I have no idea how that happened. But we're on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, whichever you feel. We do Twitch stream over at twitch.tv/chillspot, usually from Wednesdays to Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. This spiel is getting longer over the years, and eventually it's just going to be too long.
It's only a testament to how far we've grown.
That's gonna be
you know what? That's very positive.
Yeah.
But yeah, we Twitch all sorts of shit.
If you haven't heard of us, why haven't you heard of us?
We're streaming.
We're fucking huge.
We're streaming Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
We're streaming a Pokemon Crystal Nuzlocke, which is this thing where your Pokemon die for realsies if they die.
No. That's the worst thing I've
perfect
ever heard.
reaction. And then we're also streaming Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, which is one of my favorite games of all time.
And I mean, this podcast is going to exist forever. So maybe by the time you listen to this, we're done all of those games. But that is the general stream in which we stream.
Yes.
So
please come and hang out. We'd love to hang out with the stream. Will hangs out with us sometimes, so he's there.
Yep.
You can talk to the host of your favorite podcast.
Yeah,
exactly.
On Twitch streams.
Yeah, we're talking directly to you, Brad.
That's right.
He does listen to this podcast.
Exactly.
I know he does.
He's the
podcast of 2020.
Oh, Lordy.
Underneath us.
Were we even his favorite? I thought we weren't even his favorite.
We were Well, if we were second, Haven't Seen It was third.
Because he actually, his favorite podcast is the Rooster Teeth podcast. Oh, I listen to the RPA.
Brad specifically on our podcast.
Listen, it wouldn't be a Chill Spot appearance if we didn't burn our moderator, Brad Shirk, at least once.
Yeah.
We love that guy. I'm going to fucking shave his head. But thank you guys so much for having us on again.
Yes, it was another.
This was the best. The coolest, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
The coolest.
I'm going to try and keep you on the call for another 45 minutes. Just because I'm drunk and I love you so much.
Exactly. Well, if you want to follow the coolest podcast, other than Chill Spot, they're really cool. You can follow us at Haven't Seen a Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at haven't_seen_it on Twitter. You can also go to our website, haven'tseenapodcast.com. There you'll find the big list of movies Alenka hasn't seen, as well as all the episodes and pictures of our guests and our drinks, and links to all the other places you can listen to us, like Spotify, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you find podcasts. We're probably there because that's how the algorithm works, I guess. And leave us a review. give us a rating on iTunes. That really helps. I guess. Hopefully it helps.
We make mad money off this, so give us reviews.
Totes
more money.
And also, I wanna make an announcement. This is not going to be the last time you hear the Chill Spot on the Haven't Seen It podcast, because exciting news, we have a live stream coming up.
Yes, they do. They do, darling.
On Friday, March 19th, 7:30 p.m., we will be having our 50th episode live stream extravaganza. Details of that will be released soon, but please tune in, and you might see special guests, including the Chill Spot podcast. So tune into that. Super exciting. Look out for those details.
Yes, and you guys, just remember, when life looks a little cloudy, the sun will always come back.